August 27, 2020. First of all, before I even go on, I'm going to explain like this. Stuff I'm doing today, I'm doing it because of the corruption we are facing throughout entire political spectrum, and this globally. Stuff I'm doing I should not even be doing. 2020 was greatly anticipated election. That's of course a US election, and globally. And there's a whole variety of people I resent this stuff to. I'm not going to go in details to whom. You know who exactly. You were here in this room. You know what you did is a crime. The US politicians, I'm not going to even go into the Republican Party, but Democrats believe they're going to bail themselves out of what they have created for American people, for those that voted and that casted vote for them. They believe that for the cost of betrayal, for the cost of Grammys, for the cost of film roles, for the cost of all kinds of contracts, movies they were awarded, discounted properties. There was a whole bunch of them here. The whole bunch of them involved in MK Ultra. The whole bunch of them profited big time. You can see, you go, you open the news, you open the media, you read who profit what, kind of Graham is this and that, and how much they actually do for the people, how much they actually stress the importance about what goes on. Well, basically watching their own people die left and right. And compare this with what is happening on a global political stage already. Believe that through this case, eventually I, and obviously you, the people, are going to be paying for what I have stated. So they're going to make it up for everything they have done to you, to me, through this, that this is what's finally going to pay them, and that's how it's going to be the victory for 2020. So that I should feel really pressured, and I should just hurry up and do as many as possible this videos. So Donald Trump in 2017, I was in Belarus, and I already totally denounced Donald Trump as a criminal. Would make it up for everything they have actually jiggled away. Just like this. And that's how they would grab onto the power. More of this video, more of the proofs I would submit prior to the US elections, the more they would actually profit. And this would be actually my thank you for their saw nothing, heard nothing, know nothing game they played since 1995 along the Republicans. This is how the US elections works. And so this is the way it was since 1995. One time, one party, another time, one party, lies, beatings, abuse. Also here, right here in Slovenia, to the point that Mr. Lukashenko concluded on several occasions that with friends like this from the West, they managed to totally horrify and Russians and Belarusians who deemed that they have done something bad and stuff like that with their criminal conduct. Scare them, actually. Lukashenko concluded that with friends like this, you don't need enemies, basically. He was laughing when he was watching this circus, this American circus around me. The entire Russian and Belarus delegation were horrified, and I'm going to tell you the truth with a good reason. Disgusting. Disgusting. United Nations, what you're doing right now is criminally wrong. Those of you that are delaying investigation are going to be investigated. I will inquire about your being investigated. You're submitting the facts. Why have you delayed? Why have you postponed? Why have you declined to perform your duties, because what you're doing right now is criminal conduct. I don't care who would benefit, what would benefit from. You had no right to do anything like this. This is a stunt politic which United Nations should never be part of it. This is a criminality. I lost 26 years of life because of you foremost. You're the one, you should never allow this stuff like this to go far as this. And you also were involved from the beginning of this stuff, already since 1995. So this is, folks, what we are drowning in. They are drowning us, literally. This is what's taking the world down. Criminality, corruption. This is a city of Strykow. And this city is located not too far from Lodz, in the center of the Poland. Here's the map of the countries you can see, so you get an idea. Following was recorded on, again, on August the 27th, 2020. After I moved from, now if it's gonna demonstrate, Lodz Gorna right here, to designated with red dot here place right next to a bay here of Strykow. This is a big artificial pond, and on August the 27th, arriving here with a broken transmission, I left the car right here. Broken clutch, actually, still worked. On this parking lot. Then what I would do is, I was severely stressed because of what happened in Lodz area, I'm gonna say, and far beyond down south Lodz. I have managed to gather probably proofs for about, I don't know, maybe 50 kilometer, maybe more radius of radius, not, let's say, diagonal, whatever area of the Lodz. Okay, quite a considerable area also down south from Lodz. I have managed to identify and so on, and what I have seen was disgusting, really disgusting. It's the word Donald Trump loves to use, and we have to listen to this word, so why not to use one for the right reason. This here is where I bought a loaf of bread and took a fresh air, stressed walk through the city, dismayed with what they have done to me in Lodz, under enormous pressure all the time. I would just head through the streets of Strykow for about kilometer, maybe even kilometer and a half, and through these old streets here, took the walk to the same old place as I always would whenever I was brought here to city of Strykow. Right here, this is was the place. The only thing I did was I would follow the very familiar path, and that's how I did find myself right here. Yeah, and I just wanted to get out too at one point. I just wanted to walk away thinking all this. Yeah, and it's a good stuff to do. Here is when I got myself wet. This is like a little water that is going through here. And this is where I ate this loaf of bread, somehow relax myself enough to gather the thoughts about the Strykow, clear head. And then I just headed to this first house right here. This is where the renovation was done. The exterior renovation around the house took place, just as I have explained on my video, like in the year 2000, I would say. And I say exterior, outside. It was a lot of stuff that happened here. All the neighbors, they started to fix. They started to fix things. 2001, something like this. And then this whole street started to fix itself. They renovated the whole street here. Probably, I estimate, I don't know, 2002, something like this. And they became really, really proud. Now, this did not go without the troubles. The troubles exploded here at this place here. This is, you would say, almost at this place here, almost the revolution started here. The lady I am about to talk to, at first when I came there, they were not even, I'm not sure whether they were happy to see me or not, but I can tell you today that the whole thing was really, really difficult, not only for me, but also for the people around. Confusion, they were not sure what side to take, how to see what is going on with this whole thing, yeah? So finally, and that's actually really a fortune, as I started to talk with them, I stood in front of the house and I was looking at the house and I started to talk about renovation of this house and this and that. The lady invites me in and invites me for a coffee. This was probably one of the most hospitable people. She hosted here and Americans and people from all over Europe. Whoever would come with me, they would always get here not only coffee, but also bakery and anything she possibly could. She would do anything to accommodate people. This was just one of the most, the friendliest people, I would say, in this whole place. I would say this like extremely, 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 extremely nice people, you know. Because I like the water so much. You see the pond here. I did not even go and see it. Sometimes, probably like in year 2000 or 99, they even erected this pond here. There was some kind of water, but they started to. This is like a swampy area here. But they became really so impressed with me that they were so happy, excited to see me here that they started to wish for having their own water. People agree that the water brings a lot of mental health, happiness, joy, and so on. It was really a hope, like a hope that would shine over the Poland, I'm gonna say, and pretty much everywhere this money was coming from the West, people would get jobs, people would start to see hope, and yeah, it would be like you would turn the light on in the room, but behind this light you would turn on in the room, there was also a lot of problems that would appear. One of the problems, one of the people who faced a problem was also a husband from the lady here that you're about to hear me talk to. I was thinking about, I really, as well as my problem, not going to heard from psychologist Daniel Smith, who was involved in it. Also, I don't think he's got much to do with this. And if he does have to do with it, I vindicate him in that aspect because of the same reason that I vindicated lots of Polish people. Not all of them, because some were really bad. Some were really bad people. Some people were really so bad that the people they would grow up with, the same age, they would eventually go and see as an enemy because of different complicity, maybe of the skin, facial characteristics, and so on. And this is the hatred Donald Trump brought with him to the Poland. And because of the lightness, because of the light complexity of this gentleman here, he is like blondish. I don't know now, I didn't pay attention to what he looks like, but back then he had this semi Western features. And the individual who was here first just happened to be Chris. That's a son out of wedlock of Donald Trump. And wherever this guy was, It's a lot of dead people ended up. This guy was just a bad luck, wherever he went. And so one of the victims almost that became was this totally innocent man that would not want to have absolutely anything to do with it. But as I stated, they would condition people. They would condition people to see me, to have anything to do. And at first what they would do is they would get me in a picture. Then people would see me suffering. They would, will you help this guy? People would commit themselves, and the next thing you see is they would start to condition. This was American tactic. People, their presence, their assistance to me through the political views. This is like beyond criminal, more criminal than what you can possibly imagine. And offer also divide the society through the financial, through the money offers and all kinds of stuff like this. So this place, Strykow, basically exploded once American showed up here, just like every other place. Here too, hatred exploded. He was the one, just happens to find himself also on the list. The lady, you're going to realize when I talk to her, she says he's a nobody. I am here, I always lived here and this and that. No, he's not a nobody. He's a visitor and this and that. He's not a nobody. This is a married couple. They have a son. Son inherited this home, basically. They gave this home to him. But he just tried to remind me what the deep cuts, emotional cuts that this MK Ultra. Yeah, you want to call this whatever you want to call this. I call this a torture. This is no ice cream, and you can call this whatever you want, even MK Ultra, whatever you want to do. Cost to the city here and on. How this city was harmed actually. In a little later, you're gonna hear me talk to a group of people I have identified, and they did map me for this purpose. Here, at this square here. We would talk, we would sit there and talk, and they allowed me to identify a few of them. They related themselves to me. They understand that not very little, nothing I had to do with this whole thing. There too was a fatality. You know, the guy you're going to hear is going to say that the car ran him over and stuff like this, that they was driving too fast. No. This guy just happened to lost it completely. You know, you did not even have to be a bad person. All you had to do is drink alcohol, lose yourself, whatever. And before you know, you didn't know what you know. And you were gone off the picture. I would say that, you know, if I wouldn't have seen what I see today is happening in Poland through Kaczynski, Morawiecki, Andrzej Duda, the people who claim that this was the right way to do, that this is the way to do, Duda actually pointed finger in me that because of me, he changed the view on a politic and joined the other political party, the other spectrum. And so giving message out to basically to me, to the people, that whatever was done before to the people who saw it that way is going to be done now, basically done to the people who see the other way. This is the main reason why I protest this kind of stuff. I also believe that people who saw themselves in me and they suffered, whether they got killed or they suffered diseases or whatever it happened to them, that I am not going to go along with that kind of stuff, because this kind of game, this kind of stuff leads into dictatorship. It's not about the people anymore, but it's about what I say, and you are to see my way or you're dead. And you're taking away even the history of the nation itself. For what I blame also Putin in Russia is happening. I blame him because Russia traditionally is not a fascist and Nazi state. And we Slavic people are not to see ourselves in a fascism and a Nazism. It's simple as this. And we are not to allow some politicians to walk in our lives and take advantage for their political gains purposes, financial crime, criminality, corruption, through stuff like this. Because this just happened to be my case, I am also going to respond properly to that, accordingly to their actions too. I will not comply with the stuff like this. It's not going to be like that. This lady here, one of the most important people here. This lady here since '67. That's a pretty damn long time. Since from forever here. Recognized in a community of Strykow as a real Strykow woman, a worker, not some kind of a profiteer, somebody just going out there to collect the political points, going in the ass of the politicians and stuff like this, but somebody who is committed to community, somebody from here, somebody who had an extraordinary ability also to connect with people from other countries. I mean, everybody always, the door was open. The only thing she wanted to do was good to whoever came on her doorsteps. Recognized by Slovenian politicians very much. From Ljubljana, the politicians would also come here. They would pay frequent visits here. From Lake Ljubljana, Slovenian workers whose factory was here over 30 years ago, Lake Ljubljana, pharmaceutical, right in the city, would keep coming back, and they would come right to her. They like her. They just love, and the thing about it is because of me, and I want to say to my Slovenian guys, thank you. A big thank you to Ljubljana, to the guys who eventually, this is a fact, several of them would keep coming back to Strykow and try to do, they did their best to create as good as possible impression on the people of the Strykow to help me out. Because of my future case, this is what he told me, that you're not going to make us, by any means, you're not going to make us feel ashamed. Think about us being here, doing this for you, trying to make a good impression, and they did. They hosted Polish people inside of the factory. They prepared them all kinds of stuff to eat, to celebrate and so on, to make them feel like, really something different about that, connecting with us emotionally and so on. In Slovenia, they did also something like this in the city where I am. They also created, in the city of Novo Mesto, they created a party here for all the people that were involved. Not all the people that were involved, for a variety of people. And from Russia, they invited everybody, and Ukraine, and from Belarus, and they told them they are more than welcome here, always, and so on. They try to bring a different culture, because the Slavic society was very divided, and Slovenia was just a country that somehow, I have to say that in a way, in many ways, I am very proud of certain things that people from my country initiated, and I sincerely hope that they would continue this kind of tradition that would be completely opposite of what we see is taking place across the Eastern Europe today. We are we're supposed to bring one another closer, not further apart, for the sake of some foreign interests and stuff like this. This is the politic I also will never agree with. I would also want people to sit, eat, drink, and be happy at the same table, regardless from what Slavic country they are, or for that matter, from the whole world too. I don't see the reason why This associate with the rest of the world for the sake of some kind of hatred, anger, division, and stuff like this. Elements which are necessary for the big conflicts to start, to commence. Let's just go to the audio recording, and what I will do this time, I'm just going to go ahead and translate to you this stuff. I am just going to do it like this, and we're going to do it like that. I'm going to go like this here. Just as I have stated, that pretty much everything that I did yeah, but it was really in 2002, something like that. Yeah, at least. At least, because it was all of a sudden it was a different attitude. It was a totally different attitude. Everything all of a sudden changed when I came. The son was there working outside, right in front of the house. He was doing the stuff, and it was like, you're not welcome here no more. Basically, that kind of tune it was. I mean, it was like, wow. All of a sudden, everything was different when I came that time. Lady is going to talk about something that the room was added. No. The room was added in the back of the house, yeah, but that was even far prior to my arrival to Strykow. Whenever the hell I came, was it in '95 or whenever I came, this was done already way prior to that. God knows when she or whoever added the room in the back of the house. I did not mean anything like this. I talked, just as I've explained right now, about the front yard of the house that was changed, that was renovated. Not about rear of the house or anything like this. Hell no. This is 2002, I would go. The whole street was actually started to be renovated. 2001, yeah, 2001. Okay. I say so because you see this stuff here, this here. You cannot zoom yourself in, but this whole street, this is like, let me see, let's see this stuff here. You see this stuff here, this started to be changed. Oh, this was later that was added. The pavement and stuff like that. This was later that was added. But here in the end, this was like, here the people, they started to fix first. They started to make changes. Right here at the end of the street, people started to make their own little changes. Their own stuff they started to do. So, you know what you see here, this kind of stuff, the pavement and stuff like this, I estimate this kind of stuff was done probably around like 2005. I probably estimate something like this. Okay. But this buildings here, this you could possibly not miss this street. This was like, I was actually like drawn into here, into this place here. And the pond was made sometime. The pond they started to make sometime, probably I estimate like in probably like 98, 99. They started to make it bigger. It always was water there, but they increased one. They started to work on it really. I don't know whether to impress me. I don't know what the idea was. But that's the way it is, you know. The neighbors. Who knows me? Who knows me here? The whole city here, everybody knows me, and from around the area too. Look, this here, this is this, yeah, and then this here, this is Główno. You see Główno? It started first to develop here in this Strykow, and then development went toward Główno. This was the direction that was taken. This is the way it went. This whole thing, and let me see where the whole thing is taken. And then you have a Lovich here too, and so on. This is also what I was, and I also have a very solid proofs about my presence in Lovich and so on. This is, no. Let's just continue with this stuff. This is a long one, but it's extremely powerful proofs I present here throughout this recording. You can hear the sirens all the time, don't you? Well, you're going to hear the sirens all the time. And this was a situation also in Łódź, in Zgierz. Everyone I would go like this, wow, all the time. But here they went completely insane. They went completely crazy. The church, the bells you're going to hear later on, the sirens. As I met this group of people whom I have absolutely identified, and they confirmed me. They alone confirmed me. It was like really, really disturbing actually. It's a lot of the stuff that accumulated itself that I started to deem it would be better for me because I love Poland, I love the people, I love this country. I said to myself, listen, I said, and because of the immigration, every 3 months you have to check in and out if you're jobless to just go before you know you're going to develop completely wrong feelings about it. And that's what I warn people to not get into anything like this. Hello, good day to you. Hello, you're still here. I see the couple. Okay, I want to say something else to you people. The stuff that I have spoken about in my video, the negative stuff about the Poland, everything, absolutely everything was from the book of Donald Trump. They had brainwashers, psychologists, that translated the news which was produced to them either from a Buckingham Palace, from the London, or from Berlin, or from United States of America. This is a NATO politic. This is a neo-Nazi NATO politic they have developed with the idea to turn us against one another. And because of what I have done, you might be black in the US, you might be Hispanic, you might be God knows what, who, where. I am just asking you one thing, to please do not get yourself in this kind of mentality. Do not get yourself in this kind of... Just look at Donald Trump, how angry he is. He's shaking in anger. These people live for the hatred. These are angry people. You have no idea how angry they are. They live for the hatred. If they could These are domestic terrorists, make no mistake about it. These people would detonate the whole world if they would get a hold of the button. People like this are mentally unstable. They would destroy us all, including themselves. I'm asking you, these are the politicians, I'm asking you to refrain yourself from this kind of tactics. As the people who translated, who instilled in me news, and this is what I'm angry about the Poland the most. I'm angry because you allowed the people like this to get hands on me. Do not, under any circumstances, relate yourself to this kind of stuff. This is about bringing the people together versus those who have used this kind of tactics to create ripples that would be used to widen cracks and blow the world up. We don't need World War III. This kind of tactics are leading toward the enslavement of humanity. For either way it's going to be, think about my words, whatever it is that you're going to do out there. Do not get in this kind of tactics. Refrain yourself from hatred. Refrain yourself from anger. I know this is anger stuff I'm doing here. It's anger stuff. You can imagine how angry I am because of this stuff. But still, sanity here somehow must prevail. Something has got to be done. I don't think the politicians are ever going to do anything about this because they're too corrupt, they're too criminal. The people who benefit from within, the people who benefited from within, they're also not going to do anything. They always find a million reasons why they should not. Plus, it's always financially pays them off not to get involved in anything. So you're not going to see them ever doing anything about it. But it's you, the people, who can actually make a difference. I'm going to do this again. I am going to do this stuff again. Okay, I asked them whether they have a son, right? I said, you have a son, right? Because this is what I'm talking about right in front of their home, right? And they're a little bit shocked because I just go straight to the issue. And they say, and the man said quietly, yes. So that's a hit right there. It won't take long. Like I said, these are one of the most known couple in the city. These are just the workers, the working couple that spend their life without anything other than a roof above their head. That's all there is to it. I would give anything to help people like this, to do something for the country, for the Poland, for the people. And this is what I will continue to strive toward to help people out, not the politicians. And kind of bring tears in my eyes because you have no idea how much these people suffered, what kind of problems arrived on their doorsteps, what kind of problems this were. Their little happy life these people had, this happiness, this hope, that all of a sudden this sunshine, this, whenever they saw me, this happiness, at one point it was all gone. You know, it's like the darkest clouds you possibly can imagine would descend upon them. They started to hover over the whole city. A really, really bad news. Okay, just a really, really bad news. Fear and bad things started to happen. Do you remember me or not? Oh, you don't? But I remember you. I remember when this home was rebuilt, refurbished, renovated, I should say, improved. Please come in, please come in. The lady actually breaks down. She said, come in, please, I'll give you coffee, I'll give you tea, come in, please. Just like always, just like always. You know, this place, this home here, you could never ever get, but not what I got today. This was like a regular thing. Extremely hospitable people, couple. Goodness, I mean, nothing other than goodness. And the gentleman absolutely anti-fascist. He is a little bit blonde and stuff. The thing about him is he was always anti-fascist, and he have declined Chris. His fascist gestures, he tried to get him to see it somehow different on a million occasions. And from so many Americans, from everybody that visited this home, I have no idea, but somehow I have no why she said that. I guess that he might have said something or something like that. The thing about it is, this is the best person in the world. The best people in the world. I wouldn't mind to have people. I wouldn't mind to live with the people like this. Have them absolutely anywhere around me. I wouldn't mind, really. This is really a couple that the only thing you can do is you can admire them. And the lady was an anti-fascist fighter. I mean, this was like I was brought here to this house. It was yelling at me here. It was all kinds of stuff. Believe me, I don't resent them. I don't mind at all. I actually think that whatever they did, it's okay. From my point of view, including to the lady that I was taken to later, the whole city was screaming at me. This was at one point, they somehow economically recuperated themselves. And then it was like, now we're gonna tell you what we really think about this and that. You know, this kind of stuff. The thing about it is that I would want to give them more. I didn't resent anything. It's far away from it. As I walk back to the city, when I reminded myself of that stuff, that this is actually today Poland, that this is the way it is, I was extremely pleased. I was extremely happy. I don't know how much they really had ability to relate themselves to me, but it was really difficult to understand me anyways. Because of the stuff I did. Now, what is with this place here? The house. This is a Jewish quarter. This here. This is an old Jewish quarter in the city of Strykow, where she is. Okay, and because of whenever the word was Jewish, about the Jewish, this was just where the Americans will come anywhere close. The racism, discrimination, they would just explode. They were really hunting, looking for any kind of features in Polish people that would have a Jewish. Now, the truth about it is that we Slavic people are not ashamed of any of that. Okay, we are, just as I explained her on audio, we are part of the colorful culture of the Slavic nations, in which we have people from all sorts of background. We are a colorful culture. We have variety of cultures. Within the Russia, there is I don't know how many ethnicities and cultures that exist. And wherever you would go, you would have all kinds of culture that are present in our culture, including Roma and Jewish and all kinds of minorities. This is just a normal thing. And we also share their DNA. This is just the way we are. And we are not ashamed of that stuff. We actually celebrate that stuff. And I tell her, you know, it was many years ago, this was a stupidities that went on here. Yeah, the man, you can no longer see this. Now he's an older man. I'm not sure what you can see, but right now I picture him when he was younger. He kind of looked like a Kirk Douglas. He reminded me of Kirk Douglas, and he had this blondish hair, you know. And that was a kind of a bait. And the lady was reddish, and Americans, when they would come, they would just think like they're talking to someone that just they can talk to, like whatever they want to talk to, basically, in that kind of sense. But the truth is that they didn't give a shit about whatever they would cause out there. Whatever harm, whatever they would cause to whomever they would cause, they didn't give a damn about. They couldn't hold their own problems. They knew that this is Eastern Europe, this is not the US, and that people, this is going to cost them lives, whatever. They 100% knew it. I think what they wanted is to cause as much harm as possible, so they could use this to cause the same thing like they attempted to do in Belarus in 2020. That's basically bloodshed they already have created once in a Tiananmen Square in China. This is what this is. They try to install the Nazi politic through the money. She says, no, man, no, don't talk to him. Okay, this couple, these are sweethearts. It's just, she's doing this to remind me. Okay, she's like, the pawn, the gentleman, this is like the sweet man, like always quiet, and it just, yeah, he just go along. You know, she always was the boss, whatever. And she's like, right now she's stressing the issues down on him. Not pawn, not pawn. Pawn means Mister, not Mister. I, you know, takes a pride in that she is always that she was from there. Oh, she knows nothing. I am the one. I can tell, she says. She gets open with me immediately and tells me these are Jewish homes. This is a Jewish quarter. Entire, everything was a ghetto, Jewish. I live here for 33 years. Or 43 years, whatever she said. I don't know how long she said. Was given to us by state. I am still very, very sorry about what went on during MK Ultra. You know, now Americans. So she says this whole street is what the Jewish court was. This was a Jewish ghetto, and this is where the problem. You know, this is what. You know, what can I say? Think about Donald Trump, whatever you want to think about one, but if you think that this man is a Nazi, a fascist, the worst you have seen in this world, trust me, you cannot go wrong with it, because nobody knows him as much as I do. Germans killed them, Germans killed them. This lady, once Americans started with this kind of stuff, exploded. She did not take any kind of any kind of Nazi stuff like this once Americans started, and pretty damn soon once they started with this kind of stuff, the regulations, the rules, the house rules changed. We were then welcome no more because of this kind of stuff. She took control in her own hands. Other neighbors started to also, yeah, and this and that, but she was the first rebel in this street. She was the one. The rebellion against this American, against this Nazi stuff they started to bring into the street, into the city, eventually started with her and with one of her friends. This is how it all started. It was the two ladies that actually exploded. And then the young people paid attention to this and they became more conscious, and then it all started. So this home that you are at right now, that I was at, she has like a special recognition status within the community, this lady. And once I have spoken with her, and I came to her, just want her to see her, to make her feel good. I want her to tell her that she was right, what she did, that this is correct, that we are together, that we're gonna fight against this. And then the whole community actually opened up. I know that they stressed down the stuff with me. This is not what I was angry about. I just hurt me because I remember that people got hurt. And my plan was to stay here in Strykow, be around the people and enjoy the people, see the people. Americans insisted that something bad is going to happen to me because of the stuff that happened to so many people. But the thing about it is that I never was afraid. I never was afraid of anything. As many people that suffered, the truth is that I never was afraid of anything. And it was situations that, I don't know, that people got into my face and all kinds of stuff, thinking about seeing probably ghosts of the past in me. But it was just, I felt that I have nothing to hide or run away from, as this really, I have nothing to do with it. When you drug up person, and this is just, you can do anything you want to do to the person that is drugged up, in case you didn't know this. These Jews were really good people. They were not bad. Hitler was the one who was bad. I tell you this, some of us Polish was also no good. But some of our Polish did help them out. They saved them, they this, they that. Right now, she's talking about the mom. She said, I was born after the World War II, but mom told me. The thing about it is something else. Her relatives, I'm not sure whether this was his father, her father even. I have no idea about whom she talked about. After when I remember now when she exploded, sometimes in year 98, probably something like this, 99. She just exploded at one point. She couldn't take it no more. She was warning us to keep the mouth shut, not to even try the husband, and then one time she just exploded. That we don't even know where we are, that her family, I don't know, they were partisans or something like this. So this is actually a partisan family. Just recall this kind of, if I would go back right now, I would ask her, I would say, is if your family, who in your family, the whole family, I think they were partisans, and this well known even, something like this. So this is another thing to consider about this witnessing about this lady. She did not mention any of this. No, I say I agree with you. This is the way it is. Where are you from? She says, this is a regular. I'm from Slovenia. But you speak very good Polish. She gives me a compliment. She gives me a compliment. She complains something about the Polish letters, but we have the same letters, Slovenian. I says, but this is a little Poland and the Balkans, I said to her. She said, that's good, that's good. What you're saying is true, lady. Yeah. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Jews were in the Russia, in Ukraine. They were everywhere. They're hardworking people and clean people. It's Germans who had a problem with them. They're part of the Slavic cultures. This Slavic culture is colored cultures with the people of all kinds of backgrounds. It always was like this. I told her again, I'm sorry, I'm just sorry. Difficult is to me to think about that we did such a stupidities here. They did all kinds of stuff here. Think about Kirk Douglas. This is what her husband reminded me of under MK Ultra every time I saw him. And you're not gonna have a coffee. We already have coffee. Her husband, although it looked like a Kirk Douglas, he always declined anything, any kind of gesture about Germans or anything like this. Always. And then I don't know. She put him straight into the place like a big quiet man. I am the one who talk, basically like this. So the LEK company, that's a Slovenian company, I want to talk about that because I know about the LEK. She used to work. A good man, it was this Slovenian guy. Sandoz is another company name. I said Slovenians, they didn't want to sell it. They wanted to buy, Americans wanted to buy this company for many, many years. Yeah, this was the company that Trump started the war against in Strykow. Once Americans find out about this company, once the Germans saw this thing, this big thing standing over there in the distance, a beautiful structure, modern building, jobs, stability. It was a rage, it was an anger, it was something Slavic, it was something that must be taken down. And it didn't matter how much that's going to cost. This became like an obsession of Donald Trump. Donald Trump would pressure on the city of Strykow and politically through declining others to the right to invest even in the city of Strykow, despite incentives that Strykow offered to the new investors, to potential companies, and to the company alone, to LEK Ljubljana, to Novartis, Sandoz now, Novartis, that they are going to become part of, they're going to purchase that out no matter what the cost is going to be, or they're going to destroy them, or I don't know what. No, the Slovenian pharmacy, the pharmaceutical, the business, I'm going to tell you the truth that you cannot destroy this. You cannot destroy this because I was in the school with these people. We were in the same school, in a high school. I grew up with these people. I know what it means to them, pharmaceutical, chemistry, my family was all involved in a pharmaceutical industry. I know what this means. I know what it means to leave for the pharmacy. This is not just something that you just go and you just take down that, with your words. It takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more than politician to get something like this done. And Americans got burned big time on a court in Sweden when American Pfizer tried to take down the company, pharmaceutical company Kirka from the city where I am from. They lost on the court and they paid financially, were held responsible for their BS. Joja was one of the people that would come straight to this home with another gentleman. There were two of them, and they would come and they would just work in a production with the workers and were in charge for the people to feel like the best they possibly can. They basically, Slovenian government took in charge that they're gonna comfort Polish workers, they're gonna treat them, that they're gonna feel inside of the factory like in their own home. And I really salute this kind of atmosphere. I think this was the best possible solution to everything at the time that whatever went on in Poland. I don't know what you said, that he came and they were doing something with workers. No. Jože and his collaborator Slovenian from Lek Ljubljana, there was a whole bunch of them, but this two wanted to make me feel proud of them. They eventually organized a party inside a factory and outside of the factory. After the job, they would make a fiesta and bring the workers together, people together, and host them and give them food and all kinds of stuff like this. It was like this. In Slovenia, we say to this picnic, just to keep the people happy, to keep the people together. And the Polish people were excited about this because they wanted to celebrate their co-workers. They wanted to create the atmosphere, the working atmosphere that people would, and the people did. The Polish people embraced this. They were so happy. It's like a little Slovenia. Polish people were really happy with this place. The Slovenian culture here in this city developed, and it's what made me extremely excited when I came here, because I knew that this is where they remember us. I know this. She said, a guest in the house is home, is God inside of the house. It always was like this, I told her. Not, she said, it's a nation like this. No, I said, in your home, it's you who always was like this. Do you smoke? No, thank you. Tomorrow I'm going to apply for the job. I tell her I'm going to go to this company, Novartis, Slovenian, and see. Do you have a room already? She says. You still not have one? I see. I can find you a room. I have. I can go and we can go and I will get you one. And how much is going to be? We're gonna get you something. We're gonna talk about, I don't know if she tells, whatever not, but you have everything for 500 zloty, she says. If only it would be a room, I tell her. I can call right now. Would you like? Yes, you can. Well, nothing really came out of this because this was a shared room with other people, and I was not into that. Now, the lady that she rents this from, this is her a revolutionary friend. This is the lady who gave her the support to start the revolution back then in 98. Counter-Nazi revolution, I want to call this. This lady, her friend, she always also rented rooms. But these are super old friends. I don't know whether they grew up together or what the case is. I didn't ask about that. But this is an old friend. This always was her old friend. They always. This was also really a lady that she just rents the rooms to others, to workers in Strykow area and so on. Okay, so she's on the phone. I talk something about the little water, about the river. What I she says no, it's dirty, but it used to be such a clean water, crystal clean water. This pond that you have seen right next to this property, it always was water there. It always was a little bit, but this was really increased sometimes already in 98, 99. The people, the neighbors, they started to work on this pond. Boy, they wanted to really impress me. But very shortly after that, maybe just 1 year after they show up to me with that pond, it was a bad news that came. One time we would come, I don't know, was it in 99 or was it maybe in 2000? Everything was upside down. People would just turn away. They were just hurt. They feel, I have no idea what happened. I would just, when I would come, maybe I did some stupidity, maybe somebody else did. I don't know what it was. It could be a command that was given to them that came from somewhere. But I was actually seen in a completely different light. People were just extremely disappointed. I can still feel that disappointment today. Yeah, you could see a crystal clear water. You could see the bottom of the river. I talk about another factory, it doesn't matter. I have a nice guy here, a really nice guy, and I was thinking about I could come to you. If we can come to rent the place. Can I come? She is very pleased. Her friend, her old friend, her longtime friend, says she is very pleased. A gentleman came to me. Okay, she is very pleased. The gentleman came to me. The lady I'm talking to right now, was the one who started the revolution in the city of the Strykow. This is where it all started. She was the one. The second one, nobody gave her the support from the neighbors. Watch out. But the second one who gave her the support was the lady we headed next. This is her long-time friend. And then the ladies' revolution came. The two older ladies started the revolution, and the young people started to become attentive and listen. And then all of a sudden, the whole city of Strykow exploded, basically. This is what it was. And then all of a sudden, I had younger people coming from elsewhere, and it was a complaint. They started to rain down. And the neighbors, that they tried to hush this thing, they hushed them. Basically, like this, the way it was. To be completely exact to the last millimeter. And you can go today, you can go to her, and you can ask her the questions. Now, I don't know why she's saying this. I have no idea whether she really thinks that I would not remember or something, or that maybe she wanted me to say that. Yeah, maybe she wanted me to say that this was. She says this is added. This apartment. It's added, and she points out the room in the back of this apartment. And this, of course, it's impossible that I would say something that I would not remember this, that I would not recall this. Of course, I remember this really well. Okay, so she says this. She says, I think, okay, she says, this is original, and here they're Jewish, and this is what was added to the building. I wanted to make her feel good. I tell her, but Jews were doing a really, really good structures, building structures. I said, from all the homes that were built, the best homes were built by the Jews. And this is the way it is. There is also Kosciuszki over there in Lodz and so on, where I was. That's also was Kosciuszki got. This is old building, beautiful Jewish built old building and so on. I tell her about the structure of the building, the rooms, how luxuriously they were built and so on, in the center of the Lodz, basically. Okay, so that's that. Basically, soon we head to her friend. And in the Lodz, how many they killed Jews? I bring the subject of Netanyahu, and also later on, they're giving me food, and they're talking about Jews in Lodz and so on and so forth. I tell her that in 94, in 95, 96, there were business people that came here to Poland, Jews. And she says, yes, yes. Yeah, they didn't want to put statue to the Jews the Germans murdered in World War II. Netanyahu also didn't want. But Netanyahu told them, if you're not going to put the statue to Jews that Nazis murdered here, we're not going to invest any money here to Poland. And they did. Sometime later they did put it on. But Germans pressured. They wanted to get it their way. Yep, in Zhgov, in the city of Zhgov, south of Lodz, they built the biggest statue to the Germans, to the Germany. That did not make any sense. To me, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to anybody. Ridiculous. They didn't even build anything like this to the Poles alone in Poland. For that statue too, Donald Trump was deserved for that German statue. It's a beautiful neo-Nazi statue, and the only little mountain around that, and the top of it is this German statue they placed. Glory to the German army. I told her in every Pole there is a German DNA, I mean Jewish DNA. I said, this is the way it is, and we have to, Slavic people, we have to accept it, that they are part of us, and that's it. Yeah, her family was involved into resistance. I don't know. They were really, actually, I don't know who, but she's from the partisan family. You go and you ask her all this stuff that I have stated in addition. Did somebody want to doubt about whether I know the lady or not? It's not only the facts I have pointed out about her son, about the renovation in front of the house, but I'm telling you right now also this kind of stuff. I talk about Lukashenko and explain the situation in Belarus already on 27 August of 2020. I was very unhappy what I have seen was happening in Belarus. I was very unhappy. I told her, when you come to the certain country, whether you with investments or whatever it is, the cause you came, you need to respect the culture and the history of the people. If you don't, get out, and that's all. Navalny, Tsikhanouskaya both escaped, one to Latvia, whatever, the other one to Germany. If they worry about their own people so much, why? Why didn't they run to Russia or someplace if they... or some other Slavic country? Why did they run to Germany, to Latvia and so on? No. Although Tsikhanouskaya ran to Latvia first, so later returned to Poland, because so it would be suspicion about the Polish involvement into a revolution in Belarus, it would be steered away. Morawiecki and Duda, who were involved in it, Kaczynski was involved in it, the suspicion would not fall on them. This was just defense mechanism the two have used to deter attention away from them. I tell that Lukashenko would want to do business with everybody. The problem is that from Russia he doesn't even get the oil prices he should, since the two are allies and so on. The things is very difficult. The things for him are made very difficult. He's not a problem. The problem is the way what he counts on, he's not getting any kind of support he should otherwise count it on. He depends on Russia. Look what's happening. And instead, he get high oil prices and stuff like this. They choke him. In a Strykow, there is one Slovenian company. Everything else is German, American, and so on. It's all Western money that controls entire Strykow, entire Poland. And this, all the Poles know about this. They're not happy about it, because people don't work inside of the Polish companies or something like this, but they're actually slaves for the Western capital. Low wages and, you know. I said, and if he would be buying fuel from Germans, probably the Lukashenko would get cheaper. So that's what I say now. I said Belarus people have to travel to Moscow to get the work, to survive. This is not his fault. This is a very difficult situation. As much as he wants to do good stuff. No. And Americans and Germans are abusing this situation for their purposes. Okay, let's go to the friend. And now the next thing you do is we go to the friend. This is an old friend. I don't know what to ask her. We come there, 500 zloty. To tell you the truth, from my perspective, from my point of view, the sleeper, the car, the life inside of the car, awesome. Going for a swim in a lake for me, with the injury I have, spine injury is a must either way. You don't get that kind of stuff in any apartment. Being next to the lake does have its advantages. Plus that you get to put 500 zloty in your pocket without having to deal with a landlord's I did in the past, if you remember. car as such, as it was the situation, even if they would get inside of the car and cause damage, they would not cause as much damage as when you handle money at the end of the month to somebody who was involved in torture against you. This lady here was not involved in any kind of torture against me, the lady we're heading to. This is just, it was a little bit funny stuff, but there was nobody in MK Ultra that didn't do at least something funny. I don't hold any kind of grudge against her, but fact of the matter is that if I would move in there, because it's other people, because there are politicians who might exercise the pressure down on her to do something, to have other people do stuff to me, I'd rather avoid that stuff and put money in my pocket, which still then was the right decision. So we walk to her friend. The rest of this recording, it's actually really not much. This is a Jewish court. She's showing me. We go there. It doesn't do any good for me, I think, here to get into this stuff. I think the only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and accelerate this a little further, because it's just another lady that I talked to. She was involved in MK Ultra, but I did not point out anything that would, that would confirm that I know her from the past or anything like this. Yeah, really nice to me. If you want to hear this. But there are much more important things I gotta get to as fast as possible, so that I blow away any kind of doubt that I know that I have a advanced knowledge about the city of Strykow. So what I'm gonna do at this point in time, I'm just gonna skip and I'm gonna go on. The gentleman I meet next, maybe that's a little bit more interesting. I'm interesting. I stay right there. He's the original man. That's where I stop a little more. I am a little bit angered because of this stuff, because I don't like the people for being involved in my case for so long, saying like, I don't remember you, I don't know you, or stuff like this. It kind of hurts me, this kind of stuff, when I ask people if they remember me, and then they even act funny. All these people knew Chris, so when I ask if they remember any Americans and stuff like this, and they are hanging onto the question and stuff like this, that does very little for me. They don't want to know anything about Americans. I don't know, maybe it's because of investments or something like this, but for me that kind of hurts me, when you say stuff like this, when I remember you like yesterday. Chris was the first one that would walk with me all over the Strykow. He had the right to fish, he had the right to put his tent wherever he wanted to, lodge wherever he wanted, swim over there in the lake, have a good time, everything. I had to be next to him like best companion he can have. And here I am, I don't even get the confirmation from these people that, this is the way it was. It's very unpleasant, really. Okay, here's my friend. Ta-da-da-da. Let me just accelerate this stuff, because this is it's taking too long. Let's see this. Okay, this is goodbye, I guess. This is when we talk. Okay, they have a dog, and I pet this dog. I have fun with this dog. Let's go to something more exciting. I wasn't gonna take that stuff. I know there is more people. The Ukrainian people could help me get more proofs and stuff like this. I am not at this time ready to throw the money away. I am thinking about one thing, actually saving the money and getting myself a job. This is in my plan, not that I'm gonna go and just hand the money out. This is the first thing I want to do. So another 2 more months, I had a plan to stay inside of the car, go swim, nature, enjoy myself, put some videos on and stuff like that. So that stuff too have fallen apart the next day, as you know, as I walked the whole Strykow, and again the same situation like in Lodz. Actually, perhaps even more humiliating. I don't know. She said that Leg, they also have their own apartments, they have their own lodging facility. Maybe you get something there too. Okay, till next time. Thank you, bye-bye. Okay, this is maybe really interesting. Okay, this is a little bit stroke me. All right, this is a gentleman as I'm walking back toward the center of the Strykow. This is the stuff that a little bit stroke me. This gentleman was always so mobile. Always came here for 25 years. I remember him. He was back and forth, back and forth. Now this is the house here as I am heading back toward the center of the city. Now I'm using this here Kochushkego street, and this just happens to be, let me see, damn, and this is the home right here. This is this home that I could not mistaken in a million years. This is his home here. No way, possibly. I remember when he painted the home. I remember what he did. Everything I remember now. Okay, let's go this one here. This isn't so bad. I can give you this one. More productive than the other one. But the real stuff comes when I get in the center of the city and I meet a group of people and we started to talk. That's the real deal. And then further down when people totally recognize me and so on. I said, what's going on with you? I said, you're I said, but what is going on? I said, but can't you do something with the spine? He said, I don't know what is going on. I had no idea what is going on. He said, now think about this stuff. I see this man back and forth all the time working on his property, and all of a sudden I see him like this. What am I supposed to think about it? After seeing so many people around me that got involved in this thing, crippled and crappled, and what am I supposed to think? The man says all of a sudden, I have no idea what it is, but all of a sudden I am like this. So what are you going to think about this stuff? You tell me then. Said the best is to be outside on the air. I try to encourage him. I walk a little bit, he says, but I cannot, I have a pain. He said, but since when is this? When do you have this stuff? What is going on? Is this like, what, since 2015 or what? I don't remember him seeing like this. And he says, no, he says, this is from this year. He says, this is this year that I have this problem. I said, I remember everything. You always was dynamic. You were always rebuilding everything, working on this property and everything, you know. I see you like this. So it was this year, he says. I said, are you sure that you don't have some kind of a coronavirus or something like this? This is already, I was asking him earlier. I said, because I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. Maybe I missed something. Maybe something started in 2015 or something like this, because I never remember him, anything like this. And all of a sudden I see this. Earlier I was asking him, before I even asked when was this, are you sure that this is not a coronavirus or something with you? What is going on? I was kind of shocked really when I saw him like this. He said no. And the man looked completely crippled. You know, I didn't know what to think about it. I said the body is so weird, you know. I said sometimes that's how it comes. You know. So this is maybe another proof. We could say that the man that I know from the past for 25 years always was a super dynamic man. Never ever had any kind of anything like this. He would actually boast about his improvements on his property. All of a sudden I see him with a severe pain in his problem with his spine. I give him some theories, whatever. He says that he was everywhere and there's just no way to. In both legs that has a problem. He says for 50 years this is a really good spine. It's not ideal, but it's a really good spine I have. He said this is not because of the spine, so but nobody knows why is this. You see, the German asked me if I work. You see, this is the stuff that would piss you off severely. Stuff like this, that you actually identify individual. That individual was involved in something like this for like 20 plus years. Then you step in front of one, you know, he would be talking to you all the time about stuff this, about this, that. Then one day you finally do step in front of one. You would think that he would be excited to see you, like he always was excited to see you when you were brought to him during MK Ultra. And you tell him you remember him and this and that, and he just does not remember you. Stuff like this. This is the stuff that can be disturbing. Excuse me, this can be stuff really, really, really disturbing. This thing did happen, and although I'm laughing, I'm playful, I am very, very uncomfortable with this kind of stuff. This also was the reason, one of the reasons also, because of the stuff that went on like this too, that I decided to go. Even though he gave me some clues, he severely, severely, severely underestimated me. But he might have done that, undermined me. I'm going to say undermined me. He might have done this, so it could possibly be they wanted to get like a psychological, like an echo on my psychological state, like health-wise profile, to see whether how am I going to respond to such stuff, you know, whether I'm going to get upset, get pissed off and lost my temper or something like this, or is it that, I think this is what it was foremost, I think. He gave me some clue that there was some people, but I am not happy about it. The first person this individual have met was actually Chris, sometimes I think in 1997 probably, I would say. Even maybe in 1996. I don't know. When we first came here to the city of Strykow, this was one of the first people who got to know me. And the Chris was the first person I would walk the streets of Strykow with. He asked me about the name, where you from and how and this and that, tra la 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 la. It's just something not even funny to me, but still, I keep. They asked me if I lived in the Strykow. You know, this is called really severe undermining, really. This is the stuff you should never do to someone you wanted to help. I mean, if you're out there to help. I was thinking that you work here somewhere. Okay, really nice of him to practically wait for me to come by. Oh. But, you know, The home looks like completely like new, renovated, painted. I told him, however, your renovations, I remember you. When you were making the renovations, you did this before 2005, and that's 15 years back in time. He says yes. He says, okay, the thing about it is like this too. It's a people from all kinds of profiles, okay, in this, in MK Ultra, okay. Some of these people are really, really naive. Some others have totally irrational expectations. Some people believe that when you are subject to MK Ultra, that they give you a last name, they tell you one time, and you are to remember even their last name. If you can remember the last name, then they're going to admit it, they're going to recognize you from the past and stuff like this. You know, to some people, this thing was like, it's a little bit childish. You know, the gentleman is a little bit childish. He expected me actually to remember the last name, his last name. This is not really possible that I would remember his last name, I tell him, and I'm laughing to that stuff. I tell him I was fatter. There is also another possibility, you know. There is another possibility. They were using all kinds of people that they would imitate me, and they would get on the picture of the people and try to get information to see how they're going to react the day they're going to eventually meet me, and tell them what they are allowed to say and what not. And I tried to calm him down. I said I was fatter. I had extra kilos. I feel that he is suspicious. He is nervous, unsure whether this is me or not. Yeah, that's another factor. What the Strykow people, what they talk to one another and watch me. Before this, I was in a store where I should recognize. This is a store, the copy shop, and I have an audio recording about that stuff. This is in the center of the city, next to Rosman. And now I realize I actually made a mistake, that I did not ask the owner of the shop, which is now a son. But it used to be the father was the one who handled the shop. Then his son took over. These are the people that owned the shop already, the oldest one in the whole Strykow. The business I remember was this shop. It goes probably back to year 1997. And it looks like that people communicate with one another, and since I would not identify them from MK Ultra times, they would hurry and carry the information on to another side of the town. It's like they are unsure really if it's me, if it's I, if it's not some other one again that came. You know, God knows what took place over time. And it was some other businesses too that I went through, and I had ability to recognize the people. But the thing about it is, this afternoon when I came to Strykow on the August of 27, 2020, sometimes at like 5 o'clock or something like this was the time, I was actually I don't know, 3 o'clock it was. I was in no mood to go and ask people questions. I was in a very bad mood. I was stressed. The car barely brought me here. I went to the store, get myself something, and I wanted to get out in the nature, basically calm myself down, go somewhere where the water is, grass, away. You can hear the sirens. You're going to hear the sirens and stuff like this. I mean, you're all the time going after you. Just wait a little bit. You're going to get action. Get my thoughts together before I would go about in this city, because the next day I was going to go look for the job. And when you go look for the job, when you knock on the people's doors, when you have to be social, You have to project to the people positive energy. They have to realize that you're social acceptable, you know, to keep one around and so on. And so this was not an easy thing for me. And it seems like they were like doubting, like, is this like really you? Is this like, are you the real one? So yeah, his last name I don't remember, unfortunately, no. Yeah, he's asking, but you were before in a Strykow and so on and so forth. That kind of stuff. I said, Chris was here. Chris, you remember Chris? American. He said, this was a Jew, he said. This was a Jew. Well, I was with all kinds of people. I would come here. Okay, I was not only with a Chris. It was all kinds of people. They would have me. I'm going to put it this way. I don't like this expression, handle me. Because most of the people, there's people that would get involved in it, with a few exceptions, of course, but this is a rule in life, general one. They wanted to help me out. Pretty much everybody wanted to help me out. The Roma people helped me out. Jews helped me out. Whoever would get involved in this thing, they had a goal. Whenever they would appear with me somewhere, that I would be along them actually to help me out. For people to to somehow remember me, see me in a different ways. Definitely a good thing, And he talks about the Jew, so he wanted to kind of see me through that picture, all right? So I said that Chris was not from the U.S. He was. I tried to go to 96, 97. I said Chris was more a Nazi. My age, he said. This was not a Chris, this was another guy. One more time, I told him, yeah, but this, I said to him, this was, you remember, I said the stuff, no, I don't remember, I said this was like in year 97, 98. He said, no, it was like 20 years ago. So somewhere in 2000, I did appear with some Jewish gentleman in Strykow, if it was not more than that. Okay, this is a gentleman that appears that love to come back to the place of his father, a Jewish gentleman. He said they I don't know. Okay, I said in Poland it was cheap for the foreigners to buy the stuff 20 years ago. It was not in. I think this stuff, what he is talking about, the gentleman, this stuff was not in 2005 and it was not in 2000, like I told him. This happened, I think this gentleman that came. Yeah, this was a variety of people. This was not one Israeli that would come. This was a whole bunch of people that would come. Yeah. Okay, he gave me his input, all right. I did prove my point. He did not have an injury before. This is something new. If you listen to the recording, I was shocked. I wasn't sure whether he got the injury from coronavirus or something. I wasn't even sure whether. Plus, I did go to the year of when he rebuilt the home. Before 2005, I did not know what his last name is. He could have given me the confirmation on the Chris and stuff and Americans and stuff like this, but they keep silent about this like religiously. No, the proofs about all that stuff is going to become evident are too many. At this point, seems like they're realizing that this is me, and that's a good news for me, is where I'm heading next. Okay, pretty much this is it. I don't think that the thing about it is, the problem is the way I feel about all this stuff. People believed I'll be keep coming back because I was sure I'm going to stay. I was 100% certain that I am going to get myself a job the next day. This, I was sure. I did not, I wasn't, I didn't, a little I knew really that there will be no job. Okay, a little I knew about that kind of stuff. So, unfortunately, I did not return. But I definitely do plan on returning back to Strykow. This is going to end part number 2 for the Strykow. These are not really that, these are proofs, but the best is yet coming now. That stuff is irrefutable that is about to come next.